By far the worst day of my life was the day I decided to quit playing basketball. I devoted so much of my life to this one game. Hundreds of games, thousands of hours in the car driving to and from practices and tournaments, so many early weekend mornings and late weekday nights practicing my ball handling and shooting, or just trying to finish my homework so I can finally get some sleep. At least a twelfth of every single day of my life from the time I was 11 to the time I was 17 was devoted to basketball. When I was younger, I was absolutely obsessed with a basketball player named Kevin Garnett. Now, the reason I loved him so much was because of his intensity and passion for the game. He was unlike any player I'd ever seen before. The first day I ever saw him play, I decided that I was going to play just like that guy. So from that day forward, I became the most intense and hardworking player I could possibly be. At the time, I was not talented offensively whatsoever, and as a matter of fact, I actually sucked. I couldn't score to save my life. However, my intensity and passion on defense earned me the respect of my teammates and coaches. Any good player we faced, I would guard him and shut him down. I mean, most of the time, unless they were like 6'10 or something. I fed off this energy, knowing that my team needed me and knowing that I was the best defender on the team. And you see, the funny thing is that I never practiced defense, ever. I never went to the gym and practiced my defensive stance. I never used resistance bands and did defensive slides, nothing. But I was still always really good at defense. Now, that may have partially been because I had a slight form of anger management and I was borderline psychotic, but it was mainly because I knew in my mind that I was the best. I genuinely believed that I could stop anybody. This positive mindset and belief in myself is something that I could never develop for myself offensively. For as long as I can remember, I've had a really weird looking shot. Whenever people would tell me how ugly my shot was, it would eat away at me mentally. I never showed it, but I slowly lost confidence in my shot every single day. However, I was determined to improve, so I would spend hours, and I mean hours, at the YMCA for my freshman and sophomore year trying to improve my shot and just be better offensively. At one point, I spent at least 3 hours a day at the YMCA every single day working on my craft. I did that for at least 3 months, but no matter how much work I put in, I rarely ever saw improvement, and I didn't know why. This lack of improvement tore away at me mentally even more than before. It eventually got to the point where I was fighting a mental war against myself every single day. I had no confidence whatsoever, leading me to get mad at myself and hate the game. I was thinking about quitting basketball for a few months, but I never wanted to go through with it because I was worried about what my friends and family would think of me. I didn't want to be considered a quitter. However, I realized that quitting isn't always a bad thing. People are applauded all the time when they quit smoking. People admire others who quit their jobs that they don't like. I mean, hell, I quit drinking soda a couple months ago and I feel way better. My point is, people who truly care about you should want you to be happy, so do whatever you want to do. Quitting basketball was the hardest decision I've ever had to make. Initially, I was worried that I might regret my decision. But you see, I'm not sad at all that I quit playing basketball. As a matter of fact, I actually couldn't be happier. I've learned so much more about myself by quitting basketball than I ever would have learned if I continued to play every single day. A motto that I live by is, if you don't like it, don't do it. Now, I could sit here and try to blame others for their actions or come up with excuses for why I quit basketball, but that doesn't benefit anybody. I finally learned that I no longer loved the game and I wasn't obsessed with it like I used to be, and I didn't want to play it, so why should I keep doing it? The most valuable lesson that I learned through all of this is that nothing matters if you can't be happy with yourself. It all starts with you. I'd been fighting against my own mind for so many years. It wasn't about how much time I put in at the gym working on my shot. It didn't matter if I woke up at 5 a.m. on Saturday to work on my ball handling. None of that mattered at all because I didn't believe in myself. You see, something that I finally started to understand is that the reason I never had to work on my defense was because I genuinely, wholeheartedly believed that I was the best. So I guess if I could leave you guys with one piece of life advice from an immature, overprivileged 18-year-old kid, I guess I would just say that all of your hard work doesn't matter at all if you can't be happy and believe in yourself. And you know what? Now that I think about it, the day I quit basketball was the best day of my life.